Now back to one of our top stories. Staples Center was where Kobe Bryant celebrated some of his greatest victories with the Lakers. The LA Arena also provided the stage for last night's Grammy Awards, where tributes to the fallen NBA superstar were front and center during the broadcast. Entertainment Tonight co-host Kevin Frazier was there, and he joins me now on the ET set in Los Angeles. Kevin, I know you interviewed Kobe many times at the Staples Center. You spoke to him just a couple of weeks ago, and people may not know because you've been doing entertainment for a long time, but before this, you were a sports broadcaster.
Yeah, and you know, Anne-Marie, I got to spend so much time with Kobe away from the court, working on projects or going on Make-A-Wish visits and doing other things, and getting to know a man who was really so comfortable with the second act in his life. I saw him 2 weeks ago, and we hugged, and he said, come out to the Mamba Center and see the girls play, and I wanted to go out there and see him. I still haven't been able to wrap my head around this, and neither did many of the stars who were in the Staples Center last night. And through much of the show, you could tell the artists were not just celebrating the year in music, but Kobe Bryant's enduring legacy as well.
Tonight is for Kobe.
From the opening notes of Sunday night's Grammy Awards, Kobe Bryant's memory was in the hearts and minds of the artists on stage, including host Alicia Keys.
We're all feeling crazy sadness right now. And we're literally standing here heartbroken in the house that Kobe Bryant built.
With Bryant's retired jerseys lit in somber spotlight above the crowd, the number 24 lifted in tribute on stage, the basketball legend was remembered throughout the show, including at the end of the night's tribute to the late rapper Nipsey Hussle by artists including Meek Mill, John Legend, and DJ Khaled.
Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. We want to send our love to the families, the kids, the mothers, and the whole entire family, the wives and everything. It's just, it's devastating.
Despite the news of Bryant's death and the past 11 days of controversy surrounding the ouster of Grammy CEO Deborah Dugan,
It's been a hell of a week. Damn.
Sunday night's focus was on celebrating the year's best music. Lizzo took home 3 awards, but 18-year-old Billie Eilish was the night's big winner, the youngest person ever to sweep the top 4 Grammys: Song, Record, Album of the Year, and Best New Artist.
What does this mean to you?
Well, I'm dying, man. I don't know.
Beyond your wildest dreams?
Yeah, dude. This is surreal. This is like a dream. Oh, my God.
I gotta tell you, Kevin, I just love Billie Eilish. I feel like she's got a really long career ahead of her, whether it's singing or just writing, or I feel like she's a student of the craft. But that's enough of my rant. You know, we had been covering this sort of controversy leading up to the Grammys, and then this unfortunate news about Kobe Bryant, this tragic news. Do you think maybe the sudden death of Kobe Bryant kind of took attention away from all that controversial stuff about the Grammys and the Grammys being rigged and all this weird stuff?
No doubt, Anne-Marie. You have to understand this. Los Angeles is a city of stars, and all the stars come to the Lakers game. They fight over that real estate to sit around that basketball court. And Kobe Bryant, for 20 years, was the main attraction in that building. And so last night, there were stars who couldn't even speak, and they just literally walked down the red carpet, took a picture, and walked inside. I saw John Legend backstage, and he was like, Kevin, you know I would stop, but I can't tonight. Same with Common and so many others who knew Kobe. It was really hard to be there last night in that building with that news.
Yeah, I bet. Let's talk about the Grammys, though. There were some, great highlights there. What sort of stood out to you? I told you how I feel about Billie Eilish, but there's some other great things that happened, too.
I thought that Usher's performance, his performance of that Prince medley with Sheila E. was fantastic. And, you know, Prince was a guy who wasn't in love with seeing people perform his songs. And I think he would have been proud of Usher last night. And Sheila E. said as much. Also, Demi Lovato, her brave return to the stage. And, you know, in that building, or at least right next door, after her first issues with drugs, and she had come back from rehab, we sat down and talked, and she talked about how it was going to be a daily struggle for the rest of her life. So when she had that relapse in 2018, it was so scary. So this comeback and knowing the road ahead of her, it made that such a special performance. And I just think that everyone had Kobe on their mind, and you saw the entire music family kind of come together in a sense that there was a harmony in that building last night, and it was a beautiful ceremony, and Alicia Keys orchestrated it all. And by the way, one other thing, Boys to Men, they talked about how quickly they pulled together that impromptu performance to honor Kobe, and they said, you know, it didn't matter. They would have done anything to be a part of that moment, but it was hard for them. They said they wouldn't look down in the audience because there were so many tears.
Oh man, that is so moving. And I don't think, you know, Alicia Keys is probably one of the better people to do something like that. There's something very calming about her all the time. I know because you've interviewed her, so you probably know that too. So I couldn't think of somebody more appropriate.
We do this for a living, and we understand how to deal with tragedy because we have in the past. It's not easy to broadcast and deal with an overwhelming tragedy like this, and she handled it without missing a step and brought everyone together. So kudos to Alicia Keys. Her husband, Swizz Beatz, was emotional about how good she was and how she handled the pressure after the show when I talked to him backstage.
Very cool. Kevin, thank you. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, always great talking to you, Anne Marie.